All right, I'm back. Can you hear me a little bit better? That happens every now and then. Well, what I was saying is this whole thing with Delphi, last week, I can't remember what show we were doing.
I'm back. Can you hear me a little bit better?
I can hear me on my phone. That's not cool. Last week, I can't remember what show it was. And I think it was for Harmony. And I was talking about different cases and how they take a while to solve, not saying that Delphi is solved. And I said, every time there's an update in Delphi, like I instantly lose it. I lose it. Hello, Lynn. Christina didn't get an alert. You just thought you'd check in, Christina? Hello, Leo. Hi, Rock and Rolla. Where you been, Rock and Rolla? Hello, Tiffany. Gur, Tamara, Diane. Hello, just me. Sandra. Music City Angel. Which Music City, by the way, are you talking about? Hello, Amanda. Peachy P. So I saw a couple of comments. I put a video up this morning. It has been edited. Some know why, because you have my back and you're awesome. And I had some comments saying I'm going to have to really refresh myself on this before Monday. And I was like, yeah, me too, because I was up and down all night going through everything Delphi. All the different people that we've talked about over the years. Keegan, his dad, the guy that owns the property. The names are popping out all over the place. I can't wait till Monday. That's why we're talking about it now. Wolfcat, we always have your back. You guys are awesome. So I was going through the Down the Hill voice clip compared to the guy who is in connection to. We don't know what they're going to say on Monday because, well, it's the Delphi case. You never know. So I compared a voice clip that just freaked me out even more. Just me said, I don't understand why the wait. I don't either. Everything I can get a hold of, I've been going through. And he was in court yesterday. With the Delphi case, you just never know. Kelsey put this up. She tweeted this yesterday. Just know how grateful I am for all of you. No comments for now. Any questions, please refer to Carroll County Prosecutor's Office, like they're going to talk to my ass. There is tentatively a press conference Monday at 10 a.m. Yes, we're going to be live for that. We're going to figure out how to get that streamed with a quickness. She said, we'll say more then. And she said, today is the day that I'm going to choke up. I'm going to choke up saying that. The guy has lived there. The guy who they're saying is in connection with. I started to do a show yesterday, but I was like, I was going crazy. Richard Allen, supposedly, he lives like 3 miles away from the school. Works at a local pharmacy. Married for quite a long time. There's an eerie picture of his daughter. People are getting a little mad about me bringing that up. It has nothing to do with his daughter. This has to do with him. With him, it's going to come up. Posing on that bridge in 2018. The girls were murdered in February of 2017. So much eerie stuff. He was hiding in plain sight, just like they said in 2019 they knew he was doing. They knew he was doing. It's crazy. I don't know why the wait for Monday, but I guess we'll figure it out. Amber says he lives a mile away from Abby. Yep. Wolfcat, definitely him. Wolfcat's got it figured out. We don't have to wait till Monday. So much stuff has been racking through my brain from the past years, the press conferences, everything from staged scene to only the murderer would know to the title of this show where Doug Carter had said in his whole career, this is the totality of evil. We don't even know what was done. I'm afraid to know. Amber, it's on my community post too, and it's in the Facebook group. It's scary. It's national news. Everybody's talking about it, every channel. So when you see comments and people saying, leave it alone, let the girls rest, they're getting justice finally. Diane, I made a community tab about this. There was a couple of comments that weren't happy about my poll. I said, do you think his wife had any inkling? I wouldn't be surprised at all if she didn't, because I'm getting serious BTK vibes here. Serious vibes. Now what I'm wondering, Christina's reading my mind. We'll do a poll. Do you think this is his only murder? I mean, BTK, he had a lot going on and his wife had no idea. Christina's a perfect secretary. I'm not going to be surprised if this doesn't bring more stuff up. Another question. A lot of people keep saying, how did the police miss him? How did they miss him? If you remember I want to say it's from 2019, it could have been earlier, when they said there is a DNA profile on the girls at the crime scene we can't match. We can't find it. Now, Keegan, his ass, they've got piss, spit, hair, cheek swabs. He's in jail. They've got all the DNA they need from him. They got everything. They got everything from Keegan. So we know that it's not Keegan. I'm not saying Keegan's not connected. But basically, everybody has a record that we had talked about up until now, except for this guy. Has anybody that's been following the case, like I know many of you have, like I have, has anybody ever heard this guy's name before? Has anybody ever seen him? Here he is. This is him. This is Ricky, whatever his wife calls him. This is what we're dealing with. This is him hanging out one night. That's the sketch. See that arrow? That's the sketch. How did that not freak him out? There's rumors that agents were digging up the backyard. I'm not really believing that, because I think somebody in that tiny little town would have noticed a excavation project going on. I don't know. If we hear more about that, I'd like to know. This is crazy, though. This is crazy. I want to know what linked him. I want to know if Keegan said something. Remember, he's in his own hot water with the Anthony Shots profile. We know what he was using that profile for. He was doing more than just catfishing. He's in big hot water for that. Did he finally say something? I don't know. This was kind of an unusual day. It was unusually warm. A lot of people were out hiking, walking. Some people will say, oh, no, nobody was out there. That is not true. We've talked to some locals that said how this happened without anybody hearing a scream or anything. When he says down the hill, I still would love to know. We will find out someday. I don't think we're going to find all this out on Monday. Forget that. What was the whole conversation? It wasn't just guys down the hill. What was the conversation? Are the guys down the hill? We talked about that in the last show about Delphi. Was it the guys are down the hill? Or can you guys help me down the hill? You know, my dog is hurt or something. I don't know. So I'm going to show just a news clip from yesterday. And then I want to go through the uber popular, can't hear it enough times, conference from 2019 where Doug says we're taking a whole new direction. He's pissed and he's personal. Hang on.
Nicole, the name of the person arrested has not been confirmed, but sources say the individual appeared in court this morning. Our Rachel Wilkerson, she's in Delphi tonight with reaction from the community.
The girls' families, the community, and people from all over the world have been hoping for closure in this case. They're hoping Monday is the day they've been waiting more than 5 years for. That's when the Delphi Homicide Task Force, along with other agencies, will be providing an update. Sources tell WRTV a man has been arrested in this case. On February 13th, 2017, the girls went for a walk in the woods near the Monon High Bridge. They were never seen alive again. On Valentine's Day of 2017, their bodies were found on the back end of a private piece of property less than a mile from where they were dropped off the day before. What happened between the time they were dropped off and when their bodies were tragically found has remained a mystery for years. Indiana State Police, the lead agency on the case, say more than 50,000 tips have been called in or emailed to investigators during the past 5 years. Detectives have interviewed hundreds of people. Families of 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German haven't given up. Today on social media, Libby's sister said, quote, "Just know how grateful I am for all of you." She goes on to say no comments for now. The family will say more during Monday's press conference. I spoke to a Delphi resident who says the deaths of Abby and Libby devastated the Delphi community, and they're hoping for justice.
We're just hoping that there's some closure in the case. I know everybody's been waiting. They've had suspects in the past and nothing's really panned out. And so we're just hoping that they find the guy, they charge somebody, and we can just put an end to this. And
okay, I'm with that guy right there. That's like I said last week. I believe it was in the show about Harmony. I said the minute I hear anything Delphi update, I instantly shit. I lose it. The hair on my arms stands up. One time we were driving through Indiana, well, many times, and I saw the Delphi exit, and I got the strangest feeling over me. Something about this case is so bizarre, evil, because let's face it, Libby and Abby, they're not little kids. They can scream, they can cause a ruckus, they can run off. Something is so maniacal and evil about this case. I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go. So like this guy, we've heard so many names over the years, but this is an arrest in connection with, not an arrest and somebody that may have been around there that day. In connection with, that's the difference.
kind of put a exclamation point on the 5 years waiting.
ISP says the case never went cold as investigators haven't given up. Working for you, Rachel Wilkerson, WRTV.
Now, the search for the person who killed Abby Williams and Libby German has spanned more than 5 years. 5 years with no answers. But Monday, that's expected to change. As we know, so much has happened in this case. That's why tonight we're bringing you a timeline to catch you up. February 13th, 2017. Libby German Snapchats herself and Abby Williams on the Monon High Bridge in Delphi. This is the last time anyone would hear from them. On February 14th, state police confirmed 2 bodies found along Deer Creek in Delphi. Then the next day, investigators identified the victims as Libby German and Abby Williams. On February 16th, police released a photo of an unidentified man police wanted to question, and on the 19th, called him the prime suspect. February 22nd, police sent out audio recorded on Libby's cell phone. July 17th, 2017, state police unveiled a new composite sketch of the prime suspect. Fast forward to April 22nd, 2019, police sent out a new sketch of the suspect, new audio of the suspect speaking, and new video of the suspect walking. And today, October 28th, 2022, WRTV has learned that investigators have finally made an arrest in this case, with a press conference coming Monday. We are expecting police to formally announce the arrest in the Delphi case at a news conference. That's all going to be happening on Monday at 10 a.m. at Delphi United Methodist Church. We will bring you live, continuous coverage on air here on WRTV, streaming online at WRTV.com, and all of our social media.
And they're having it at the church. This isn't any little update. This isn't any, hey, it's going to be a big deal on Monday. A big deal. Lisa said those eyes and that sketch are so spot on. LDOT, this really stuck out to me too. He works at the pharmacy. I've always wondered, a lot of people have just, we throw our theories around, and that's okay. That's okay. We've always wondered, like, what could get 2 girls? They're not little girls, they're not little toddlers, to let him take command of them. A lot of people are like, well, that makes sense now. He works at the pharmacy. Just Me is exactly right. It's tormented the whole community. It's a small community. Delphi, Indiana has like 2,900 people in it. 2,900 people. And like Doug said, back in 2019, he said he could be hiding in plain sight. People were like looking around like, is he in the room? Is he in the room with us? Someone asked about DNA. That's one thing that I've always been hung up about on this case, because you had this ring of PEDs. You know what I'm talking about, because I can't say the word on here. PEDOS. That were just coming out of everywhere. So they've got their DNA. And when they said there is DNA from the scene, we can't match. Also, what happened, using that term very lightly, only the killer would know. When Doug said it is the totality of evil, Doug knows evil. Doug is the top cop in Indiana. He's seen it all. He said he's never seen this before. Makes me wonder what this man was doing all this time that led up to February. Also, some people have been saying, have you noticed that one of his children, I'm not wanting anyone to go and bother his daughter, she's grown, resembles in a way Libby. It's awful. Awful. Do you think it's just him, or did he have help? We've heard words like they and killers before. Sometimes we've heard just him. Do you think? I sort of gave up on Keegan being part of the actual murder because of, the DNA thing. When they said the DNA doesn't match, we know they have Keegan's DNA. Keegan's sitting in jail. Of course they do. It's just been a crazy 5 years. PJ says more than one. Wolfcat said had help. And you're in a small community. Like I said, not even 3,000 people. This guy was not hiding. He works at the local pharmacy. His wife's Facebook is very public. I'm surprised she hasn't taken it down. She's got very public pictures of them on vacations, hiking, videos. Now, that one video of a walk is actually a brother-in-law. I had to edit my video. We don't want things like that floating around that aren't real. That's wrong. It's disrespectful and not cool. Stacy said she's deleted a lot. Oh, I bet she has. I can't believe she hasn't just taken down her whole page. Not because I believe this woman has anything to do with what happened to these precious girls, but because she's leaving herself hanging out there. They all need to shut that social media down. They've been married a long time, like 20 some years. Wolfcat says crime of opportunity. How many of you think that somehow he had made a connection with these girls and he didn't just randomly come across them? And how many of you think he just came across them and did this? Do you think it was opportunity? They knew him? Or they were meeting him out there? Not him specifically, but we had the whole Anthony shots thing going on. Leo says he planned it. Someone says not random. Christina, connection, texted and said no school, meet me here. Mandy said planned. Jeannie said I believe he was talking to him. We're going to go in the time capsule. We're going to go back to 2017, one of the first news articles that came out and made us all, not just in the true crime community, everybody knows about this case. There's some cases, I could go to the store right now and say, and just randomly talking to somebody about the weather or whatever, and just, shooting the bull, if you know what I mean. And I could say, yeah, and I wonder what is going to ever happen with the Summer Wells case. And I'm not saying this to upset anyone. This is certainly nothing against Summer Wells. They wouldn't know what I'm talking about unless they're really in the true crime community. But then there's cases like Delphi. They know what you're talking about. They might say, oh, I haven't heard about that in forever. Oh my gosh, I remember when that happened. There's some cases you bring up and people instantly know what you're talking about. This is one. This has stained our brain.
This is as a crime scene. We suspect foul play.
And that is the Carroll County Sheriff's Department breaking the news. 2 bodies found east of Delphi. That discovery made during the search for 2 13-year-old girls, Libby German and Abby Williams. Now, this is the area we're talking about, Delphi, Indiana, a tight-knit community here in Carroll County, and they came out strong searching for these girls today. Now, the sheriff, again, is not identifying these bodies found as those of Libby or Abby. This whole situation has been going on for about 24 hours now. And Eyewitness News reporter Rich Van Wyk spoke with the family, spoke with searchers today, and some of the folks in town about what's happening here. Rich?
John, the firehouse was headquarters for this search. Hundreds of volunteers coming through here, along with police and firefighters and searchers. The bodies, they were found about 2 miles from where we are standing. This is an area east of town by a couple of miles. The most recognizable landmark is the Freedom Bridge. The crime scene, though, is along Deer Creek, a remote area well off the popular trails and scenic walkways used by many of the people in Delphi. The hope among hundreds of searchers turned to heartbreak. Well before authorities announced that 2 bodies were found, the faces and tears of firemen, lawmen, and volunteers told the tragic outcome.
We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play. We have not made positive identification of the two bodies.
The bodies were found shortly after noon outside of town along the banks of Deer Creek, about 3/4 of a mile upstream from the teenager's last location. A Snapchat photo taken by Libby German put her and her friend Abby Williams on the abandoned Monon High Bridge early Monday afternoon. They were enjoying a day off from school. The pair never arrived at a location a relative was supposed to pick them up.
It's been a long several hours. It's played tremendously on the emotions of the community. So if you can group up like somebody's got a pickup truck or something.
Hundreds of volunteers joined firefighters and police from across the county. They searched and researched a 20-square-mile area, walking through creek banks, the remote woods, wide fields, and buildings. Many of the volunteers know the girls and their families.
Yeah, we do take it personally. We don't know what's happening.
Hours before the bodies were found, we spoke with Libby's grandfather, Mike Patty.
Very, very good kids. I mean, they're sports oriented. That's their relationship together. They play a lot of sports together, volleyball, softball, baseball, whatever it is.
Investigators wanting to protect the evidence are releasing few details. The presumed murders occurred in a popular, well-used hiking area.
Should people in the community be afraid right now?
Delphi Police Chief Stephen Mullen.
I think people are smart enough in our community to draw their own conclusions about what they should feel and shouldn't feel.
We expect that police are going to be processing that crime scene, John, until they run out of daylight. In addition to local police officials, they're getting help from the FBI. Autopsy results should perhaps provide some answers to the questions a lot of Delphi residents are asking.
Yeah, the response here has been overwhelming by law enforcement agencies. Thank you, Rich Van Wyk, tonight.
This is
Damn right it has been. I can't imagine what they came up on. Because, like I said, for the top cop in Indiana to say this is the totality of evil, this will stay with me for the rest of my life. It's crazy. So I'm hearing all kinds of rumors about the man they have in custody. I've yet to get proof that he's former law enforcement. Where the hell would he have worked? He's lived in Delphi all this time. Can someone send me a link? Because pretty much anything I can find to read on this guy, I am. I heard that his wife's Facebook is totally down. Good call, lady. Good call. Okay, I heard that too. The neighbors reported his yard was dug up a couple of days ago. Now, they were searching one of the rivers not too long ago, and I thought, oh, here we go. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? You know, Doug was talking in a News Nation interview a few months ago, and he said, you know, social media has been a blessing and a curse because, well, when the sketch comes out, they're calling in from all over the world saying this looks like such and such. And they're like, yeah, I can't help you. It's not him. And then he said some has been helpful, but then they have to go all the way back to the beginning for what they know they've proven and try to figure out if it correlates or not. It's been all kinds of stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff. What was the most alarming besides yesterday, hearing that there was an arrest? Kelsey saying, having a conference on Monday, was when Doug came in armed for bear a few years ago. And we're going to go through it again before Monday. You know, I've already watched it a few more times because what he said years ago in comparison to what little bit we know now makes me want to pass out. I thought I was actually going to.
The Delphi community, how grateful I am. You inspire people that you don't even understand when you don't even understand why. Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago. And you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family of these two little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City building. We're releasing additional portions of the audio recording from that day. Please keep in mind the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. This is not two different people speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you. And you want to know what we know. One day, you will.
This press conference has always haunted me because you can see how Doug is peering up and he keeps looking around. You want to know what we know, and one day you will. You didn't think we would switch directions, but we have. I still want to know if he was at that press conference, if he helped with the search, if he even went as far as to volunteer information, like something maybe odd he saw that day. All of that's going to come out, but I will never forget this press conference. But that, like I said, the top cop in Indiana, Doug Carter, he was so pissed that day. He was unraveled. And it would take a lot to jar the nerves of, well, somebody of his position. And he's peering around the room. Look at it again. Did he insert himself into the investigation? He's not on social media, so you wouldn't see him on any of the Facebook groups or anything unless he was on social media using a sock account to see what people are talking about. Wouldn't be surprised with all the social media surrounding the Delphi case if one of us at one time has not talked to this man.
These two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
That right there. What are the people around you going to think? How are they going to react when they find out what you've done? Brutally. Totality of evil. I think they were profiling and already putting this person together. And here it turns out the person that was arrested in connection yesterday, we don't know. We'll find out Monday, is a family man. He's a working dude. From all the pictures I've seen, looks like he has a real nice life. Nice home, nice job, nice wife. A daughter that he made sure to take a picture on the bridge of. That's tactical. There's a reason Doug said, he knows this person's following the case. You want to know what we know. Someday you will. But what are the people around you going to think when they find out what you've done?
We are confident that you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least, they know. Because of how different you are since the murders. We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack. And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer. I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left. And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not what they're experiencing today.
And that's always been the mystery that some of us do not even want to know. What is it? What did they come across in the woods besides two innocent girls that has shaken these men, these law enforcement professionals, to their core? For them to say, for some to have to take administrative leave saying, I can't work on that case right now. I can't look at any more crime scene photos. I can't process this anymore. And it's going to come out. That's why they said we cannot say, well, a lot of things that are normally said right up front, because only he's going to know. It was said in another conference or just an interview. Only he's going to know what we saw that day. I hope when this arrest was made, I hope Doug Carter got to do it himself. I do. I hope he got to make the arrest himself.
To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that when I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions. I know that. Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please be patient with us, please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls. So I invite media to take a look at that now. It's not up. Kim.
All right, so that was what was unveiled back in 2019. Here you see the sketch. Of course, they don't have the goatee or anything on it yet. There he is. Of course, we see the gate. Now, the last show we did for Delphi, one of you awesome people actually went to Delphi and was showing the difficulty walking on the bridge. It does have a lot of uneven railroad ties, everything like that. Well, the thing is, though, you still walk normal. You can see that it's uneven. So like they said, this is somebody with a particular gait.
We're also going to show you a video not previously released that superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. It's only a slight change on it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready. Stand by for the video, please. There is no sound of the video. As Superintendent Carter mentioned, he is on the railway bridge. You have to take different steps to get to it. This information later this afternoon will be on the State Police website. For the community that's here, we have 100 copies of the news release. If you put in that URL, you'll be able to get to that site to play it. And we also have that same release for you in the media. And the rest of the state will get that release in about 15 minutes. So we appreciate those of you that came here. This concludes our announcement. Thank you for your time, patience, and courtesy.
Whew. This press conference from 2019 freaks me out. Serena, this is from 2019. We're just doing a recap, getting ourselves ready because so much has come out in the last 5 years for Monday. Because when I re-listened to this press conference where Doug says, you're hiding in plain sight. You could be in this room. You live here. You work here. You want to know what we know, and you're going to. You're going to. You didn't think we would switch directions. Well, we have. Hello, Animal Rocks. How are you this weekend?
Oh, I'm doing great, huh? I've been studying this case for a very long time.
Let me have it. What do you think about what came out yesterday?
Well, it was very interesting, but now it makes me come on questions.
Yeah?
At the very beginning, Robert Ives, the former DA, told everybody that the killer most likely met the cop. This was on March 25th, 2017. 2 years down in this audio, you hear it from Carter. He says the same thing in a different way, where he kind of indicates that they have interviewed the killer and he could possibly be in this room. So my question is, and they say right now he is basically kind of like a company to the crime. They didn't say he's actually the killer. If you listen to this whole thing, my whole thing is, when did Mr. Allen have this interview and met the cop? And which cop was this that actually had the interview? From my perspective of research, by listening to enough interviews, Tobe Lesenby came out and did an interview on HLN where he emphasized and said to Barbara, I know that voice. I know that voice. I can't figure out where it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know that voice. So does that mean Tobe is the actual interviewer of Allen?
That's what I always wanted to do.
Plus, on top of it, how ironic this is occurring. 2 weeks prior to this arrest, Michael Thomas, who was running for election, had filed a federal suit against Tobe Lesenby and Tony Liggett. And I kind of find it very interesting, 2 weeks later, while Carter's on vacation, they finally make an arrest on something that is connected to the Delphi case. And we've heard that word connected a couple times on other people. So I'm wondering, is this actually the real killer, or is this another red herring thing to provoke?
I don't know. I don't know, my friend, because like I said, for the last 5 years, anytime I hear Delphi and update, I lose it. I mean, I lose it, because we have seen some of the sickest people in this case. And plus the issues they've had, you know, in their department. ISP has really done an awesome job, I think, sorting out all the problems with social media, people saying that they are the killer. freaks saying that they are. Keegan Klein, one lie after another.
Oh yeah, that was a headache for me trying to tell people for 5 years that they've already proven that they were not connected to the murders. Now, connected for communications and whatever else, yes, it's there.
And then you have this. They said it is connected. I've been seeing a lot of social media of the family. There was one, Tara responded to a picture of Richard and she said, that's him. Of course, we saw what Kelsey put on Twitter yesterday.
And I
From what
I
I
also
understand,
saw something about Tara or somebody else actually seen him with dealing with the pictures of the funeral.
mhm.
I just call it is
Was that one of the funerals?
yeah. I just call it is they got to get this right, and I'm agreeing with a lot of the experts too. Is where's the evidence to prove that he is the guy to make this arrest? Like, where's the evidence out of this whole thing?
Dude, I
And
don't know. They haven't even had the press conference yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
They arrested him yesterday. He's in jail. They've said
Yeah.
it's in connection to. I can't wait for this press conference. For some reason, I'm thinking this is it. Mainly
Yeah.
because of the reactions of the family. We've never seen that reaction before from the family. And also, people were always, I know that other people have looked super guilty, suspicious, whatever word you want to use. But when I heard them say in, I think it was 2020, I've got so many notes. Forgive me for not knowing off the tip of my tongue. There is DNA from the scene on the girls.
But there's one problem with the DNA and everything. And I say this a lot with a lot of people. They never ran it. They never contacted Parabons. A friend of mine actually gave potential services to help out, which Carter said no to. They never ran it. So if they try to go,
they did, and they couldn't find a match. So we know it's not Keegan because Keegan's sitting in jail. All of these people that have been brought up have records. They have their DNA.
well, what I'm saying is,
does this guy have a record? Has he been in the system at all?
the answer is yes. On his DUI that he had to submit his DNA.
Oh.
Like, this is what like I said, this is the hard part of trying to talk to people on this case.
Mhm.
The DNA that they found was on Abby, but it was so partial that they cannot run it. They can't run it in CODIS. They can't run it on anything to get a profile. Now, if they contacted Parabon, they would have been able to do a DNA profile, which actually would have gave an ideal sketch and profile on it. For some reason, Carter said no to my friend.
Well, who's your friend? Who's your friend affiliated with?
I can't give that name out. And
Does he have his own lab?
I really can't.
Well, is it something that could be submitted to a jury in Indiana?
Yes. Yes.
So he has ran DNA before that's been used in juries in Indiana.
In past cases, yes, but for
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying there's a lot of reasons.
On this, like I said, on this case, with what they have of the partial, it doesn't have enough markers. Is the best way my friend put it was.
Now, since when, and every state's different, do you have to submit a DNA for a DUI? I've never heard of that before.
With the new law that came of anything that deals with felonies, you have to submit.
He has a felony DUI?
Yes.
How many does he have? Nobody gets a felony on the first one unless they kill somebody, and even
I would have to look to see on it. I think he's got 4 minor things. Other than that, he doesn't really have a rap sheet.
I couldn't find anything. Now, that doesn't mean anything because I just started digging yesterday. This is crazy. This whole thing is crazy. And I didn't mean to tie up everybody's afternoon. I really just wanted to go back to the beginning as much as we can, because it would take a month of Sundays to cover everything that we've gone through since 2017. So I don't mean to cut you short. Come back, though, on Monday, because we're going to
Yeah.
see the press conference.
I'll
Hopefully
talk to
we
you guys later.
have, okay, hopefully we, oh, he just popped off. Hopefully we have more answers than we do right now. As I'm not putting anything false out there, Animal Rock said the guy has a DUI that they took DNA from. That didn't come from me. I'm not saying he's making it up. I can't find anything on that. I can't find any record on this guy at all, which is why I keep screaming, and I've been screaming this since yesterday. It's like BTK. He's married, gainfully employed, and it's like Doug said in the conference we just watched from years ago, hiding in plain sight. He said he could be in this room. It's probably someone we've interviewed. Yeah, I think that might be a confusion, because I've never heard of anybody getting a DUI and having to submit DNA. But I do go back to when it was discussed many times, because people said, why don't they just go ahead and charge Keegan? And then we heard Doug talking to News Nation, and he said, we have DNA that we can't match. So I don't know, but we're going to find out, guys. So I'm going to start shutting this down, and I will see you guys back here Monday morning. We have a members live for Halloween. I think it's at 8:30 a.m. And then right after that, we're all going to be together to hear this press conference and what is going on. I'm almost afraid to hear. I'm almost afraid to hear. This is crazy. All right, guys, I'll see you back here Monday morning. If anything goes on, or if I have any more crazy thoughts in my head, I'll jump in and go live. If not, enjoy your football, enjoy your food, and I'll see you back here Monday morning. You guys are awesome. Bye-bye.